What are the differences and duties between a godparent and a confirmation sponsor?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know that the Code of Canon Law really makes a distinction and spells out. But obviously, both the godparent at baptism and the confirmation sponsor have an obligation to pray and sacrifice and to provide a good example for their charge, the soul committed to their care. They have to be concerned about the salvation of the soul given to them. There are ordinarily two godparents, one male and one female, a godfather and a godmother, and they play the role of spiritual parents in a way, you might say. So certainly during the early years of life, they have an influence there. But for confirmation, which, well, in the Roman Rite, in the Latin Rite, comes quite a bit after baptism, at the age of 12, 13, 14 years old, ordinarily, but not necessarily that long afterwards. The confirmation sponsor is chosen to be an individual who is a mature adult who would be like a mentor, be a mentor in the faith, and again, take a particular interest in the salvation of the soul of this now becoming a young man or a young woman. So they should be someone chosen who is especially, shall we say, suited to guide that soul through the turbulent years, basically the teenage years. And so you're looking for an individual who would be suited for those different, their roles, they're not identical roles, they're complementary roles, I would say, okay? When a newly born child is baptized, the godparents are chosen by the child's parents. When the child goes on to be confirmed, then it is usually the child who makes the choice. For himself, he chooses someone he admires in the faith and believes that this is going to be a good mentor for me in the faith. So again, that puts the confirmation sponsor in a different category, if I say, in a different level, as the single personal choice of the child who's being confirmed himself says, this is the person whose example I choose to follow. And usually with the godparents, by the child, reaches 10, 15, 20 years old, the godparents are somewhat older. It's not that they've served their purpose and it's done. They will, any more than you will ever stop being the son of your mother or your father. You will never stop being the godchild of your godmother and your godfather, and that will last as long as you live. But as far as having that immediate influence and being very attached or involved in one's life, one usually chooses a confirmation sponsor to have that proximity in life so that that person will be at hand to guide them through, as I say, some of the more difficult years of one's life, more critical years of one's life, to maintain the faith and even to increase in faith and open charity during the teenage years, which can be very troubled, fraught with temptation, but also very productive of virtue, too, in the right care. And that's partly the care that is supposed to be provided by the confirmation sponsor. The confirmation sponsor is also uniquely of the same gender. So a boy would choose a confirmation sponsor who is a man, and a girl would choose a confirmation sponsor who is a woman. And again, now they've grown out of childhood, they're reaching the age of puberty, and they need that guidance to grow into manhood and to grow into womanhood. And so that's why they choose someone specifically who they admire as an example of someone who's done that and can help guide them through.